Good day, everyone. Our discussion for today is all about the basis of handwriting identification, or simply means the handwriting. In Wigner's principles of judicial proof, handwriting is defined as a visible effect of bodily movement. Why visible? Kasi po, yan po yung nakikita ng ating naked eye. That's why visible po siya. Also, kapag naman po sinabi po nating bodily movement, okay, ang gumagalaw po kasi habang nagsusulat po tayo is our whole arm, forearm, and our fingers. That's why it is a visible effect of bodily movement, which is an almost unconscious expression of fixed muscular habits reacting from fixed mental impression of certain ideas associated with script form. Kapag sinabi pong fixed muscular habits, ibig sabihin, andyan na po yan. Hindi na po siya matatanggal. Okay? In the sense na hindi na rin po yan mababago. Ganon po yung tinatawag po nating fixed muscular habits. Also, sabi din po dito, okay, it is associated with three effects. Ano po yun? Okay, una, environment. Pangalawa, education. And pangatlo, occupation. Nakukuha daw po natin itong fixed muscular habits sa pamamagitan ng environment natin. Ibig sabihin ng environment kapag po nakikipaghalubilo po tayo sa ibang tao. Kasi po nakikita po natin yung handwriting nila. Minsan, ginagaya po natin. Ganon din kapag nasa loob ka ng paaralan or the education. Even your friends, di ba? Your peers. Nakikita mo yung handwriting niya, kapag maganda, minsan ginagaya mo. Ganon po yun. And occupation naman po, kapag sinabing occupation, sa trabaho naman po yan. Okay? Same as environment and education, nakakakuha po kayo ng mga fixed muscular habits or habits na pwede nyo pong mai-adapt sa inyong handwriting. So, yan po yung tatlong effect, okay, sa handwriting. Also, it affects individuals so variously in the formation of these muscular habits that finally the act of writing becomes an almost automatic succession of acts stimulated by these habits. Ibig sabihin, automatic na daw po. Yung bata ka pa lang, kahit hindi ka turuan, alam mo na kung paano magsulat. Okay? Succession. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng na ipamana sa'yo or pwedeng ipapamana sa'yo. That is a succession. Thus, a person's style of or writing in most details become a fix as the habit and serve as a continuous, inseparable mark of that one person. Yes. Kapag sinabi po nating inseparable mark, okay, kakambal na po yan ng tao. Hindi na po yan matatanggal. Yan na po yung magiging marka mo as a person. Yan po ang ibig sabihin ng inseparable mark. Okay? Next, sabi din po dito, the imitation of the style of writing by another person becomes difficult because the other person cannot by mere will power reproduce in himself all the muscular combination which from the habit of the first writer. Yes. Diba? Mahirap minsan gayahin yung sulat ng ibang tao. Kasi yung muscular habits nila iba sa muscular habits mo. Meron kang naproproduce na kagaya ng sulat niya, pero hindi lahat. Kasi nga po, kagaya ng sabi dito, magkakaiba po tayo ng muscular habits. Okay? Like yung na-discuss ko po last time, habits, okay? Or the individual characteristics. Okay? Yung peculiar, kapag sinabing peculiar, ikaw lang ang meron nun. Yung ibang tao, wala. And that is a habit. Okay? Yung habit mo habang nagsusulat. Meron kang habit na ganito, iba din po yung habit ng ibang tao. So, ganun po yung tinatawag nating handwriting. Let's go now to the so-called physiological basis of handwriting. Kapag naman po sinabi nating physiological basis, okay, kasama po yan or nandyan po yung tinatawag nating brain. Sa brain natin, meron po tayong tinatawag na cortex. Kapag sinabi nating cortex, it is the core. Okay, yan po yung pinakasentro ng ating utak or brain. In that cortex, meron po tayong tinatawag na hypothalamus. Okay? Hypothalamus is the one, okay? Siya po yung kumokontrol sa ating muscles, sa ating fingers para po makapagsulat tayo. Siya po ang nagdidikta sa muscles and fingers po natin. Diba? Sabi nga natin, what brain thinks, okay, the body will create or the body will move. Kung ano yung iniisip natin or kung ano yung iniisip ng utak natin, yun naman po ang gagawin ng katawan natin. So, ganun po. Kaya, kasama po siya sa tinatawag nating physiological basis of handwriting. Okay. Also, we have two kinds of muscles. Okay? Para po makapag-function yung tinatawag po nating handwriting. Una po dyan, we have the extensor and flexor muscle. Kapag po sinabi nating extensor muscle, okay, ang ginagawa lang po niyan, yung tinatawag po nating mga upward stroke movement impulse. Ibig sabihin, kapag nagsusulat ka pataas, yung mga upward stroke, ang gumagana po dyan is the extensor muscle. I repeat, extensor muscle push up the pen to form the upward stroke and ease the tension produced as a result of a flexion by a group of muscle called the flexor. Kapag naman po sinabi nating flexor, yan naman po yung nagko-control sa ating handwriting, okay? Downward naman po. Downward stroke movement impulse. Okay? Kaya nga po, nabubuo yung mga letters natin because of the stroke. Okay? We have, ano na po ulit yung kinds ng stroke natin? Okay? We have the straight stroke and meron pa po yung isa, yung straight at yung downward stroke. Okay? Which push the pen to form the downward stroke. So, si extensor at flexor muscle po, okay, ang nagko-control sa ating handwriting para po magkaroon tayo ng upward and downward stroke. Okay? Huwag po natin kakalimutan yan. Two kinds of muscle na meron tayo. Next. This flexor and extensor muscle combine with numerical muscle to form a lateral strokes. Okay? Generally speaking, 4 groups of muscles are employed in writing. Those which operate the joints of the fingers, okay, wrist, elbow, and shoulder. The delicate way in which the various muscles used in writing work together to produce written form known as a motor coordination. Yes, tinatawag pong motor coordination kapag ang nagsama-samang gumalaw is the joint of our fingers, the wrist, ito po yung wrist natin, elbow, and our shoulders. Kapag gumalaw po lahat yan, tinatawag po siyang motor coordination. Okay? Kasi lahat gumagalaw na. Okay? So, tinatawag po siyang motor coordination. Yung 4 na muscles na yan, okay, meron po silang coordination para po makapagsulat po tayo or magkaroon po tayo ng handwriting. Have the kinds of movement. Kapag naman po sinabi po nating kinds of movement, meron po tayong 4. Okay? Una, we have the finger movement or ang gagalaw lang yung mga fingers po natin. Ito po, yung 5 or yung 10. The thumb, the first, second, and slightly the third fingers are in actual motion. Yes, di ba? Kapag nagsusulat kayo, ito lang po minsan ang gumagalaw. Si thumb, si index, at si middle finger. Yan lang po ang actual na gumagalaw habang nagsusulat po tayo. Tinatawag po yung finger movement. Next, hand movement or the wrist. Okay, ito po, ito. Wrist po ang tawag dito. Produced by the movement or action of the whole hand with the wrist as the center of attraction. Yes, di ba? Kapag iniikot-ikot mo siya, hindi naman po ito lahat iikot eh. Ito lang, yung hand lang po natin. Eh, kaya nga po siya tinatawag na center of attraction. That is the hand movement or yung wrist po natin. Then, we have the forearm movement or yung kasali na po yung elbow po natin. The movement of the shoulder, hand and arm with the support of the table. Yes, this one. O, di ba? Kapag nagsusulat po tayo, kapag may armchair, minsan nakaganyan or itong buong ito nakalapat po sa table or sa armchair ng upuan. Okay? Yung elbow po natin or yung whole or forearm po natin, yan po ang sumusuporta sa ating wrist and sa ating fingers. And lastly, we have the whole forearm movement or our shoulder. Okay? shoulder po. Left or right, either of the two. Okay? Kapag sinabi naman po nating whole forearm movement or the shoulder, action of the entire arm without resting. Like for example, kapag nagsusulat po tayo sa blackboard, yes, no need for the support of the table or armchair. Kasi nga, nakahang po yan. Diba? Kapag magsusulat ka sa blackboard, nakaganyan, nakahang, ang nagsusupport po yung shoulder po natin. Okay? So, yan naman po yung tinatawag po nating whole forearm movement. Yan po yung apat na klase ng movement. Huwag pong kalimutan, we have the finger, the hand, the forearm, and the whole forearm movement. Movement, gumagalaw. Okay? Next, we have the kinds of writing. Yes, meron po tayong tatlo. Oh, eto na po. Okay? Yung kinds of writings po natin. Una, cursive. Kapag sinabi po nating cursive, connected, agsisil po, nga kunada. Okay, tinatawag po siyang cursive. Kapag script naman, separated. Ibig sabihin po, okay, hiwa-hiwalay. Separated. And lastly, we have the so-called block or capitalized or nakakapital po lahat ng sulat ninyo. Okay, yan po yung tatlong uri po natin ng writings. The cursive, the script, and the block. Okay, wag din po natin kalimutan yan, yung kinds of writings po natin. Next, let's go now to the development of writing. Paano nga po ba nadidevelop yung writing natin? Okay? Siyempre, kagaya ng sabi natin kanina, or mga discussion po natin, in development of writing, hindi naman agad-agad na kapag iniluwal ka ng nanay mo, alam mo na magsulat, aba. Diba? Parang, ang talino naman kapag kaganon. So, development of writing, dito po yan nagsisimula. Una, children learn writing by following the school cope or model. Ibig sabihin, yung mga bata po, yung mga kindergarten, para po ma-develop yung writing nila, tinuturuan po sila or meron pong pinapagaya sa kanila. Diba? Ganun po. Diyan po unti-unting ma-develop yung writing ng isang bata. Okay? Children learn writing by following. Ibig sabihin, may sinusunod po sila na model ng isang handwriting or writing. Pangalawa, after acquiring some degree of skill, the children no longer follow the school model. Yes, kapag alam na niyang isulat yung A, B, C, D hanggang Z, no need na i-follow pa yung school model. That's the time po, okay, na makikita na kung ang sulat po ba niya is cacography or calligraphy. Okay, kapag sinabi natin calligraphy, it is the bad writing. Ay, calligraphy, sorry. It is the beautiful writing, art of beautiful writing kapag calligraphy. Cacography kapag bad writing. Okay, kapag alam na niya yung writing, natutunan na niya, no need to follow the cope or model of the school. Okay, siya na ang bahala na magsulat kasi alam na niya. Next, as a speed increasing, conscious design and regularity begin to break down. Yes, every time po na bumibilis tayong magsulat, yung design, yung ganda ng sulat natin, wala na po yan, nawawala. Why? Kasi nga po bumibilis yung pagsulat natin. Kagaya ninyo, di ba? Kapag nakikita na po ninyo na malapit na yung time, binibilisan nyo ng magsulat. Yung ganda ng sulat ninyo, nawawala. Kaya pumapangit. Nagbi-breakdown. Bumababa. Okay? Ganun po yun. Because of the speed increasing. Okay? Tumataas or nag-i-increase po yung speed habang nagsusulat po tayo. Next, in the course of trial and error, modifications are made, simplification and elaboration, addition and omission occur. So, sa trial and error po, alam naman po natin kung anong ibig sabihin ng trial and error. Diba? And the trial and error, magkakaroon ka ng mga simplification na tinatawag, elaboration, addition, yung nilalagay po natin sa itaas. Yan po yung mga nangyayari. Or, yan po yung mga naidadagdag sa ating writing kapag nasa trial and error pa lang po tayo. So, yan po yung developments po natin ng writing sa mga bata. 4 lang po yun. Okay? Huwag po nating kakalimutan. Then, sabi natin, the writing pattern of each child embodies a unique combination of such deviation from the standard letter forms or school model and becomes his personal habits. Although, thousands learn the same system, yes, lahat po tayo pare-pareho po yung unang ginamit po nating cope or model para po matuto tayong magsulat. And that the natural result is identity. Ito isipin po natin, pare-pareho yung cope or model na ibinigay sa atin. Pero as time goes by, habang tumatanda po tayo, nag-iiba po yung writing natin. Di ba? May pangit, may maganda, may yung kinds of writing niya, may cursive, may script, may block. Pero pare-pareho tayo ng model or cope na pinanggayahan. Kaya nga, sabi natin, sa handwriting, it is your individual characteristics or it is your habit. Okay, nasa sa iyo na yan kung paano mo siya papagandahin or paano mo siya papapangitin. Okay? Also, variations begin as soon as writing begins and continues till each writer in the way that seems best and easiest to him. No two persons write exactly. Yes, wala pong dalawang tao ang magkapareho ng sulat. Okay? So, kagaya po ng sabi ko kanina, wala nga pong dalawang tao ang magkapareho ng sulat. Okay? Pero, minsan, okay, in their writing, sa ibang parte, parang magkapareho po sila. But, kagaya ang sabi dito, no two persons write exactly alike. And no reproduction of a handwritten document can duplicate completely all the detail of the original writing. Yes, parang fingerprint lang po yan. Diba? Sabi natin, there is no two persons that have the same fingerprint, even if it is a twin or kambal. Okay? So, yan po yung development of writing natin. Ngayon, let's go now to handwriting problems naman po. Meron po tayong 5 handwriting problems. Una po dyan, a signature contested by its author, which in reality is genuine and correspond perfectly to the ordinary and habitual signatures of that person. So, yan po yung unang problems po sa handwriting. Yung signature po na kinontest ng isang author which is, in reality, it is the genuine signature. Okay? Pero, kagaya ng sabi natin, hindi naman po lahat nagagaya. Next, a signature contested by its author which in reality was written by him but in a way which was different from the ordinary manner and which is more or less different from the common genuine signature of that person. So, kahit na sinulat ng author yung signature niya or nag-signature talaga yung may-ari ng document na yon, kung titignan po natin, meron pa rin pong pagkakaiba. Try nyo po ito sa inyong mga bahay. Try to signature 3. Yung 3 signature po magkakasunod. Tignan nyo po, magkakaiba po yan. Okay, you try. And then tell me kung totoo or hindi yung sinasabi ko. Okay? Try nyo po, mag-signature po kayo ng 3 sunod-sunod or 4 na sunod-sunod, magkakaiba po yan. Meron po silang pagkakaiba. Okay, so ganito din po yun dito. Next, a signature contested by its author which in reality was written by a third person and which is forgery written in attempted limitation of a model. So dito naman po, nandito po yung tinatawag po nating third person or iba na po yung nag-signature. Nagkaroon na po tayo ng tinatawag nating forgery. Okay, forging of document or signature. Next, a spurious signature written by somebody who did not attempt to imitate the signature of a person and who uses a fictitious name and this to give his work the appearance of a signature. Dito naman po, okay, tinatawag pong spurious signature yung magkakaroon ka ng fictitious name or yung tinatawag po nating alias. Okay, for example, my true name is Arian Rose B. Viniegas. Pero, yung fictitious name ko or yung ginawa kong alias is ang alias ko or fictitious name ko is Ava. Okay? Ava Viniegas. And then, okay, yung Ava Viniegas na yon is talagang tao pala yon meron palang may-ari ng pangalan na yon. Okay? And then yung signature, kahit naman hindi mo kilala yung tao na yon, okay? Yung signature na ginawa mo, same sa signature nung tao na Ava na yon. Or same yung ginawa kong signature dun sa fictitious name ko, which is Ava Viniegas. Hindi ko alam na meron palang nabubuhay na Ava Viniegas, na ganun din ang pangalan at ganun din ang signature. Okay? Yan po yung ibig sabihin ng pang-apat na handwriting problems. Next, an uncontested signature, in fact, genuine but written by an unknown person whose name must be deciphered by the document examiner. So, in this one naman po, hindi po daw kilala kung sino po yung may-ari ng signature. And i-decipher daw po ng tinatawag po nating document examiner. Ibig sabihin, okay, yung document examiner po ang pwedeng mag-examine para po malaman kung sino po ang may-ari ng tinatawag po nating ang uncontested signature or unknown signature. Okay? So, yan po yung mga handwriting problems po natin. Let's go now to the next slide. Okay? Meron po tayong tinatawag na stroke. Okay. A stroke is the path traced by the pen on the paper. It should be observed whether the course of the strokes is continuous or broken. The pen stroke is the visual record of the writing movement. Alam naman na po natin kung anong ibig sabihin ng stroke. Okay? Yan po yung itinitrace ng pen doon sa paper. Yan po yung sinusulat po nating upward and downward stroke. Okay? Yung tinatawag po nating straight line or curve line. Yan po yung tinatawag po nating stroke. Then, we have qualities of stroke. Meron po tayong 6. Una po dyan, expansion. Kapag sinabi po nating expansion, whether the movement is extended or limited. Yung movement, yung galaw, pwedeng malawak or pwedeng limited lang in its range with respect to both vertical and horizontal dimension. Okay? Yung laki or liit ng letra na ginagawa mo, that is the so-called expansion. Coordination. Whether the flow of movement is controlled or uncertain, yung tinatawag po nating smooth, jerky, continuous, or interrupted. So, kapag sinabi natin coordination, it is the flow. Okay? Yung kung gaano po ka-smooth or ka-jerky yung sulat po natin. That is the coordination. Next, speed. Okay, yung bilis. Whether the movement has been rapid or slow and whether the pace has been steady or variable. Kapag rapid, mabilis. Diba? Rapido, rapido. Diba? Kapag slow, mabagal. Kapag naman po sinabi natin yung pace has been steady, hindi po nagbabago yung speed habang nagsusulat. 'Di ba? For example, sa sasakyan, your highest speed is 180 km per hour. Your low speed is 20 km or 10 km per hour. Pero yung pace steady mo is like 40 to 50 km per hour. Okay? Yun po ang ibig sabihin ng tinatawag po nating speed. Kung gaano ka kabilis at kabagal. Pressure. Okay? Kung gaano ka po kadiin magsulat. Whether the pressure exerted in the movement and its upward and downward reach. Kung gaano ka daw po nag-i-exert ng pressure. Okay? No kakatalmog nga agsurat. Mapa-upward or downward stroke man po yan. Next. Sorry. Muntik ko nang na ulit. Next, direction. Okay, syempre, direction. Leftward, rightward trend lang naman. Diba? Of the movement and its upward and downward reach. So, left, right, upward, downward. Yun lang po yung directions po natin sa pagsusulat. And lastly, we have the rhythm. The sequence of movement, the wave, the total pattern. Certain similar paces recur at more or less regular interval. Rhythm mo. Okay? Rhythm is like the speed. Or it is like the coordination, the smoothness, the jerkiness. Okay? So, yan po yung tinatawag nating rhythm. Okay, kung paano yung galaw, kung gaano ka kabilis gumalaw, gaano ka kagaslaw gumalaw. Okay, that is the rhythm. So that is the qualities of stroke. We have 2, 4, 6 qualities of stroke. We have the motor coordination, di ba? Sabi natin, kapag motor coordination, yan po yung koordinasyon ng apat. Ni fingers, ni wrist, ni elbow, and ni shoulder. Yan po yung coordination ng apat. Kaya po siya tinawag na motor coordination. Motor coordination is the special way in which the various muscles used in writing work together to produce written forms. Generally speaking, 4 groups of muscles are employed in writing. Those which operate respectively the joints of the fingers, wrist, elbow, and this shoulder. Yan po yung motor coordination po natin. Then, if we have a motor coordination, meron din naman po tayong characteristics of motor coordination. Una po dyan, yung tinatawag po nating free, smelt, and rounded curves. Okay, nasa sa inyo po yan. Free, ibig sabihin ng free, freedom nyo kung paano po kayo magsulat. Okay, gradual changes of direction, nasa sa inyo yan. Kung anong direction ang gusto mo, leftward, rightward, upward, downward. Pressure is always in the state of change. Yes, di ba? Yung pressure, yung ini-exert mo na pressure, kung gaano ka kadiin, nagbabago po yan. Okay, pwedeng maging light to heavy, heavy to light. Speed, ganun din, nagbabago din po yan. Pwedeng sa una, mabilis ka, habang tumatagal, nagiging slow. And lastly, the shading impulse is distributed over a considerable length of the line, whereas in writing, produced with a slow motion. As in finger movement, the shading often has a bunchy appearance in which the maximum width of the shaded line is attained abruptly. Kapag sinabi po nating bunchy, makapal, mataba, bunchy. Okay? Malaki. Okay? Bunchy po ang tawag doon kapag sa shading. Diba? Minsan kapag nag-shading po tayo, lumalaki. Okay? Nag-e-expand yung writing po natin. Yun po yung tinatawag po nating shading impulse or the bunchy appearance. Dakil. Okay? Ano pa ba ang pwede nating ikuha sa bunchy? Mataba, makapal. Yun lang naman. Bunchy appearance. Yun po ang ibig sabihin. So, yan po yung mga characteristics po ng ating motor coordination. Next, we have the rhythm in writing. Kapag naman po sinabi nating rhythm, it is a succession of connected, uniform stroke working in full coordination. Manifested by clear-cut, unsituated stroke, which increase and decrease in which like perfect cones. Pressure is always in a state of change, moving from light to heavy, heavy to light. Rhythm. Kaya nang sabi ko, para po siyang speed, yung galaw. 'Di ba? Kung gaano ka kabilis at kung gaano ka gaslaw. Yung tempo mo, that is the rhythm or rhythm. Okay? So, that is the rhythm in handwriting. Same. Kagaya ng sabi kanina, yung pressure nag-iiba-iba po habang nagsusulat ka. Then, meron po tayong tinatawag na lack in rhythm. Lack in rhythm characterized by a succession of awkward, independent, poorly directed, and disconnected motion. Yes, kapag wala ka sa tempo, di ba parang sayaw yan? Kung wala ka sa tempo, hindi maganda yung performance. Hindi ka sumasabay sa tugtog. Okay? Pero, kapag nasa rhythm ka at nasasabayan mo yung tugtog, naipapakita yung magandang sayaw, yung magandang galaw ng katawan. Pero kagaya ng sabi dito, kapag meron kang lack in rhythm, okay, nagkakaroon ng awkwardness, poorly directed, and disconnected motions. Okay? So, yun po yun. Lack in rhythm. Yung tempo. Okay, so, kagaya sabi ko, parang sayaw lang po yan. Then, ano ba yung kahalagahan ng tinatawag po nating rhythm? Okay, by studying the rhythm of the succession of stroke, one can determine if the writer normally and spontaneously write with hesitation as if he is attempting to for another signature. Yes, ang importance po ng rhythm, diyan mo po makikita yung sulat kamay ng isang author or writer. Malalaman mo kung normal ba niyang sinulat, wala bang awkwardness, wala bang hesitation. Okay? Diyan po. Or minsan diyan mo malalaman if he or she is attempting to write another signature. Why? Because nagkakaroon po tayo ng tinatawag nating hesitation. 'Di ba? Kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng hesitation, meron po or yung nagkakaroon po tayo ng hiatus or pen jump. Okay? So nagkakaroon po tayo ng mark na maliit or tuldok na maliit kasi nga nagkakaroon tayo ng hesitation. Kapag ginagaya mo yung signature ng ibang tao, okay? Nagkakaroon po tayo ng hesitation kasi hindi mo or iniisip mo kung ano yung susunod na stroke na gagawin mo. Lalong-lalo na kapag hindi mo po talaga siya signature. You try. Okay, gayahin mo yung signature ni nanay or tatay mo. Okay? Just a mere sight of that signature of them. Gayahin mo. I am telling you, magkakaroon ka ng hesitation kasi hindi mo alam kung ano yung susunod na stroke na gagawin mo. Okay? So, yan po yung importance ng rhythm. Malalaman mo if it is a normal or nag-a-attempt siya na manggaya ng another signature. Let's go now to the letter connection. We have 4 letter connections po. Meron po tayong tinatawag na arcade. Okay? So, letter connection determine the essential expression of the writing pattern. It is a main indicator of the neuromuscular function. Connection letters to one another forms words. The joining of the upward and downward stroke forms even letters. These type of connections are arcade, garland, angular connective form, and the thread-like connective form. So, arcade, ganito po yung itsura ng arcade. Makikita nyo po, nagbigay po ulit ako ng example. Okay, arcade, it is a rounded stroke shape like an arc. It is a slow mode of connection resulting from controlled movement. So, yan po yung tinatawag po nating arcade. Yung mga bilog na sulat, mabibilog na sulat. Okay? Yan po ang itsura ng arcade. Pero kapag naman po sinabi po nating garland, yan po yung parang tinatawag po nating cursive form. Okay? Links the downward stroke to the upper stroke with a flowing curve. Swaying from left to right, it is an easy, effortless mode of connection written with speed. So, kapag garland po, connected daw po si downward at si upper stroke. Kaya, kung titignan nyo po, it is like a cursive writing. Okay? So, yan po yun. Pangatlo, yung tinatawag naman po nating angular connective form or angularity, where the downward stroke and the upward stroke meet directly. Angular connection is 4. Okay, as you can see, combination po siya ng cursive and script. Okay, kapag sinabing script, kapag po sinabi po nating script, yan naman po yung putol-putol. So, as you can see, like yung A and I and N, magkadugtong. Okay? Combination po ng tinatawag po nating cursive and script. This type of connection imposes a check on the continuity of movement characterized by an abrupt stop starts each turning point. So, kapag angular connective naman, it is the combination of the cursive and script form of writing. Kapag thread-like connective form, kala sinulid, di ba? Sinulid, agsisilpo. The joining of downward and upward stroke is slurred to a thread-like tracing or where rounded turns used at both top and bottom. So, yung downward and upward, as you can see, connected pa rin po sila. Okay? Wala pong nagbe-break. Okay? I mean, hindi po siya naghihiwalay. Okay? These forms appear in both in the shaping of letters within the word. Yan naman po yung tinatawag po nating thread-like connective form. Okay? Cursive. Meron pong mga ganyan ang sulat. Meron din naman pong angularity. Meron din naman pong yung tinatawag po nating garland and arcade. So, yan po yung mga letter connections po natin. Type of letter connections. So, eto po yun. Diagram on forms of connection. So, yun po. Okay? Copybook yan. Yung pangalawa, as you can see, yung angle. Kaya po siya tinawag na angular. Yung isa naman po, arcade. Diba? Arcade. Ganyan po yung itsura ng arcade. So, yun po yung tinuturo ng arrow. Garland naman, the angle sa taas and then the curve. Okay? Ganon din po yung isa. Yung thread naman, parang sinulid kagaya ng sabi ko, pero connected po sila. Sinulid yung itsura, pero connected pa rin po sila. Okay? Yan po yung forms of connection natin or letter connection. Then, we have the systems of early American handwriting. Meron po tayong 5. Una, meron tayong Old English round hand. Pangalawa, modified round hand. Spencerian, modern vertical writing, and the arm movement writing. Don't worry, magbibigay pa rin po ako ng example kung ano po yung mga itsura ng mga yan. Pero bago po ako magbigay ng example, talakayin po muna natin what is an Old English round hand. In fact, an Italian hand popular in 1840. So, naging popular daw po itong Old English noong 1840. Later on, makikita nyo po yung itsura. Then, modified round hand naman, early edition of the Spectra, naging popular naman po siya noong 1840 to 1860. Spencerian naman po, naging popular naman po siya noong 1860 to 1890. Modern vertical writing, popular noong 1890 hanggang 1990. While the arm movement, or the manner or method of writing instead of the form alone is especially emphasized. Ito po yung mga itsura nila. So, sa taas, yung nandito po, yung una, tinatawag po siyang Old English round hand. Yung nasa ibaba naman po, yan naman po yung modified round hand. So, yan po yung mga itsura ng mga yan. Yung nasa taas, kabila, kapag nakaharap ka, yung nasa may right mo, yan naman po yung Spencerian na tinatawag. Okay? Yung Old English, naging popular noong 1840. Itong modified, naging popular noong 1860. 1840 to 1860. Yung Spencerian, naging popular noong 1860 to 1890. Okay? So, yan yung mga itsura. And, modern vertical writing, ito pong nasa kabila. Kung nakaharap ka sa laptop mo, yung nasa left mo. Yan naman po yun. And, lastly, the arm movement writing. Yan po yung mga itsura. Okay? Pero now, parang all of that 5, combination na po ng writings natin ngayon. Yung old, modified, and Spencerian, ginagamit na po yan sa lettering ng mga letters or lettering of letters po. Okay? So, yan po yung mga itsura ng ating system of early American handwriting. So, as you can see, saglit lang po naging popular yung ibang mga early American handwriting po natin. Okay? Next! Out of this 5 division of early handwriting, the modern commercial hand system developed. This is characterized by free movement. So, naging popular daw po yung tinatawag po nating modern commercial hand system. Why? Kasi nga po, free movement na po. Nasa sayo kung anong gagamitin mong style. Okay? Kasi free. At the forms adopted are the best suited to easy rapid writing. These are Zanner and Blosser system. Tinatawag po yung modern commercial hand system na Zanner and Blosser system of arm movement writing. And the Palmer system of American arm movement. Yan po yung mga modern commercial hand system po natin. Yung kay Zanner and Blosser system arm movement and Palmer system of American arm movement. The last great revolution in American handwriting was the adoption of vertical writing, which was in the fact a reversion to the old system of slow but legible writing. Excuse me. The connecting strokes are based on the small circle and the most distinctive round hand ever devised. It was very slow compared with writing based on the narrow ellipse like the Spencerian, in which all connections were almost points instead of broad curves. Most commercial handwritings tend towards straight connecting stroke and narrow connection. So, sa madaling salita, kagaya ng sabi ko, kaya yan na po yung handwriting ng tao. Kaya sila na pong bahala kung ano po yung gagamitin nilang style. Old English, modified, Spencerian, or pwedeng combination po nung 5. Okay? So, kagaya ng sabi natin, handwriting or writing is our fixed muscular habits po. Then, we have the standard or exemplars. Okay, so we have the standard or exemplars. Kapag po sinabi nating standard or exemplars, it is the same. Okay? Exemplars are also called standards. Okay? Are legally admissible, authentic samples of the handwriting. Authentic po yung mga yan. Pareho lang po ang ibig sabihin. They are known writings which indicate how a person writes. A writer manifests fixed habit in his writings that identify him. This fact provides the basis for an opinion of conclusion regarding any writing identification problem. So, standard or exemplar, pareho lang po yan. They are authentic samples of handwriting done by a writer fixed habits. Okay? Then we have the types of handwriting standards. Ano po ba yung types of handwriting standards po natin? These are general classes of handwriting standards. Una, we have the collected standards or also known as genuine. Pangalawa, we have the request standards or the hard printing or printed. Okay? And lastly, we have the post-Lytton Moulton exemplars. Kapag po sinabi natin collected standards or the genuine handwriting of an individual such as standards and an endorsement on canceled checks, legal papers, or letters, commercial, official, public, and private document, and other handwriting such as letters, memoranda, written in the course of a daily life, business, and socials. Yan po yung mga genuine, yung sinusulat mo in your daily life. Personal, business, or social man po yan. Tinatawag po siyang collected standards or genuine. Okay? Nandyan na rin po yung mga examples. Kapag naman po sinabi po nating request standards are signature or other handwritings written by an individual upon request for the purpose of comparison with other handwriting or for specimen purposes. Kapag request naman po, yan naman po yung merong ipapakopya sa yung sulat or letter, okay, para po maging specimen. Okay, for the purpose of comparison lang po. Hindi po ipapagaya kung paano yung sulat. Ipapakita po yung sulat na kailangan mo pong or letter na kailangan mo pong gayahin. Okay, that is a request standard. Then, kapag naman po sinabi po nating post-Lytton Moulton exemplars, writings produced by the subject after evidential writings have come into dispute and solely for the purpose of establishing his contentions. So, here in post-Lytton Moultons naman po, yung writer naman po, okay, after the evidential writings naman po, nagkakaroon po siya ng, or nagproproduce po siya ng kanyang handwriting or writings for the purpose of establishing his contentions. Okay? So, yan po yung types of handwriting standards po natin. Yan po yung tatlo. Now, let's go now to the so-called pahabol po. In most instances, collected standards or yung genuine po are preferably to request standards. Though, both types should be submitted if available. So, kapag available naman po yung dalawa, yung genuine at yung request standard, pwede pong ipasa yun. Standard should be collected from a period dated within a year of the date question document with some written within weeks or days of the question writing. Kapag po magre-request po sila ng standard handwriting, kailangan po, okay, within a year of the date question. For example, kapag pinquestion ka ngayon, okay, within a year po dapat po nagkaroon na po sila ng request. So, yan po yung tinatawag po nating collected standards. Then, we have question document problems naman po. In question document problems, meron po tayong dalawa. Okay, submit collected and request standard signature for both individual case. When anonymous letter writings other than the signature and in question, ito naman po yung mga kailangan mong isubmit. Submit request standard writings of general nature from both victim and suspect. Kailangan pong mag-submit ng writings yung victim and the suspect as much as standard writing as possible to obtain within reason. Pangalawa, submit request standard of the question text written or printed. At least 3 writings by the suspects and in some instance by the victim. Same. Kailangan pong mag-request or magkaroon or mag-request po sila ng request standard kay suspect and kay victim pero kahit 3 writings lang po. Okay, 3 lang po. Pwedeng 3 words, 3 paragraph. Okay, pwede po yun. Then, we have suggested procedures for taking requests, handwriting standards in all types of question documents. So, magkakaroon po tayo ng tinatawag po nating procedure. Okay? So, una po dyan, ito po yung mga yon. Ay. Wait, let me just, I don't think pwede ko po siyang ibalik. Okay? Pero basahin ko na lang po. In that suggested procedures, meron po tayong A, B, C, D, E, N, F. Okay? A, B, C, D, E, F. 5 po. Okay? Una po, have subject seated in a natural position at a table or desk, having smooth writing surface. Dapat po, yung subject po natin, paupuin po natin in his natural position. Okay? Dapat yung table po, dapat po hindi po siya haan nga nakrasang ako nada, hindi po siya hard. Okay? Dapat po smooth. Pangalawa, furnish subject with paper and writing instruments similar to those used in question writing. Ibig pong sabihin, bigyan daw po yung subject ng papel at ballpen kagaya, okay, ng nakita doon sa question document. Paper should be same size and ruled or unruled. Kung yung ginawang genuine document, yung paper is ruled, kailangan ruled din yung binigay mong papel sa subject. Kung unruled din po dapat. As question document, if question document is in written, furnish subject with pen and ink. So, kailangan mo din pong tignan kung ballpen po ba, lapis, or pentel pen po ang ginamit. Kung pentel pen din po ang ibigay mo sa kanya. Pangatlo, never permit subject to see any writing on the question document. Hindi daw po pwedeng ipakita sa subject yung question document po. Okay? Hindi po pwede. Why? Kasi po, magkakaroon ng possibility na gagayahin niya or magkakaroon po siya ng disguise writing. Kaya hindi po pwedeng ipakita sa kanya. So, ang gagawin po, dictate material to be written. Okay? Give no assistance in spelling. Kailangan wag mo ding sabihin kung ano yung spelling ng word na yon. Or arrange on page. Dictate at a rate of speed which will produce the subject natural handwriting habit. So, dapat yung speed mo daw po habang nagdi-dictate, hindi mabilis. Hindi rin po masyadong mabagal. Dapat steady lang. Too slow dictation will enable subject to attempt disguise. Yes. Kapag mabilis naman, hindi po maproproduce yung normal writing ng subject. Panglima, remove each specimen upon completion by subject number in consequence. Like, wag daw pong sabihin yung date, yung time, okay? And identify by initiating each and request subject to sign the specimen. Kapag natapos daw po na magsulat or isulat ni subject yon, kailangan daw po niyang mag-signature. Lastly, observe all writing done by the subject and indicate any attempt at disguise as well as whether subject appears to be normally right or left-handed. So, kailangan mo ding tignan kung yung subject ba is right-handed or left-handed. Kasi, kapag left-handed, tapos yung nakita mong sulat sa question document is right-handed, doon pa lang, okay, malalaman mo na kung siya ang nagsulat or malay mo, nag-a-attempt siya na i-disguise yung writing po niya. Next, we have number 4, special procedure of taking request handwriting standard where checks forgery is. Okay, we have changed or suspected. Ito po yun. Furnish subject with check blank similar to the question check. For example, meron naman po tayong question check. Okay, ito naman po magbibigay ka sa subject ng blank check po. I-dictate mo lang kung ano yung mga specimen nang nandoon. Ano ba yung pwedeng mga i-dictate? Yung date, payee, amount, signature, endorsement, and any other handwriting shown on question check. So, yan po yung mga pwedeng i-dictate sa subject po natin. Miscellaneous. Kapag sinabi naman po nating miscellaneous, una po dyan, the laboratory should be informed of the age, apparent health, and physical condition of the time standards are written. Ibig pong sabihin yan, kailangan pong sabihin sa laboratory kung ano po ba yung taon ng papel or kung ilang taon na po siya naisulat, yung health and physical condition po nung papel at nung writing doon sa papel. Pangalawa, do not fold, staple, or pin the document. Handle question document with care. So, hindi po pwede natiklupin or i-fold, i-stapler, or ipin yung document. Why? Kasi po magkakaroon po siya ng mga tinatawag po nating marks. Okay? Next, number 3, indicate in the sample handwriting the time, place, date, signature of writer as well as witness of the handwriting. So, yan po yung mga kailangan na i-indicate ni subject doon sa handwriting niya or sa handwriting na pinapagawa po ninyo or pinapagawa ng document examiner. Next, sources of signatures written in the course of daily affairs. So, ito naman po yung palaging ginagawa ng mga ibang tao sa course ng daily lives nila. So, we have canceled checks, signature cards for saving, checking and charge accounts, and safe deposit boxes. So, marami po. Drivers, passports, marriage applications, license, tax returns, or affidavits, marami pa po yan. Okay? I think we have 32. So, yan po yung mga sources kung saan po natin makikita yung mga signatures ng mga tao. Diyan po natin makikita. Okay? So, yan po yung mga yan. Yung mga 1 to 15, then yung 16 to 32. Yung veteran record, fingerprint records, timesheet, barangay registration. Makikita po natin or dyan po natin makikita yung mga signatures po ng mga tao. Okay? So, yan po yung sources of signatures po natin written in the course of daily affairs ng ating or ng mga tao po. So, it is the end of the part 1. Okay? So, later on or tomorrow, I will be giving the part 2 and I think I'll be giving also the part 3. So, thank you and God bless.